I generally think that if you're feeling alone and you're feeling lost and you're feeling like you don't have any purpose in life, I feel like all you gotta do is pray. When it came to me, I was not religious. My mom and dad were very religious. And growing up in a very religious household, your dad, your mom would send you to church every single Sunday. I didn't want to be in church, bro. I didn't want to be there, bro. Because when I was younger, it was one of those things that was forced upon me. I didn't get it. I didn't get the whole thing. I was so bored. I remember seeing my friend in church too, same age as me. He would come into church because his mom and dad would bring him and just, force him to go. But he would have a PSP. He would have snacks beside him. I remember being so jealous by this guy who has a PSP and he has snacks and he has his feet up. Whereas I remember showing my mom bro, can I please bring my DS, please? Because I'm here for an hour. And my mom would literally look at me, like she was about to hit me. It's one of those things where I couldn't say anything about it. Then I started playing football, where I could use as an excuse to get out of church. It was one of those things where I go yes, I got, I would be praying. Not praying because, I wasn't really religious at the time, but I would be wishing to have a match on that Sunday so I don't have to go to church. It was one of those things where I can use that single thing as an excuse to get out of church. Then I had a very hard time. I had a very hard time around year 10, year 9. I was just looking for answers with everything. It was so bad that I even went to God for help. So I prayed every single night. It was a very hard time in my life, I guess. And then, the worst happened, not what I wanted. And then it ended up with me hating God even more. I remember just screaming, I hate you, you're fake. Anyway, time goes by. I became very nihilistic about life. I wanted to take my own life and shit like that, you feel me? But I couldn't because I was scared. I was living for the sake of living, knowing that I can't do anything about it. I'm just here on this world just to live until I die because I'm too scared to do anything about it. I was like, yeah, I can't live like this. I can't live like this. So I started praying again. I started praying for better things. I started manifesting better things. I wanted more out of my life. This is where God came in. I generally feel like if you just start praying or just believe that there's someone looking after you out there, just a spiritual somebody looking out for you, I feel like your world would just be so much more happier. And it was the thing with me where I was so lonely. I felt like no one understood me, as a person. I was trying to chase a dream, chase a goal where I have to isolate myself. So having God there besides me, it feels so powerful. I started praying, keep me on this journey, to keep me on this path of where I want to be. I always look up to him for motivation, for a will to keep going, to not give in to anything. And even though I wasn't around for uni that much, there was times where there was a lot of temptation. A lot of times I wanted to go out and just have fun. But then I knew my family back home, especially my mom who was alone, she definitely wanted me to come back. So I wasn't around in uni for that much because of that, right? But then in my mind, I definitely had that feeling of wanting to be in uni sometimes, that temptation of going to parties, going to clubs and all that shit. For the sake of attention, having God there, having God beside me to keep me in line is really helpful. So I go back to London every single Sunday just to be with my mom and dad and we can go to church together. But it's like the only thing we really bond over, like as a whole family. I'm not talking about just one-on-one. I feel like having my mom and my dad together present is a very rare thing, and I feel like the only time where we're all together is when we go to church. I feel like it keeps me sane, and I know that's weird to say, but I feel like it's one of those things where even if God is not real and God does not exist, you'd be so much better off just believing in something, having someone there for you. If something goes wrong, that's just God's plan to make everything right to you at the end. Like, this is not the end. God has something more better for you. It's like with breakups, not getting the job, and just like life blocks, some bad things in your life. I feel like if you just think in your head that God has you, God will look after you. God will find a way for you to win at the end. Because I believe that everybody has a destiny, no matter how good, how bad, how big it is. So I'm really grateful that I'm able to get back into it. From someone who was so skeptical about my faith, someone that avoided going to church. Yeah, I'm at a really good place with myself,